Hello.
Hi.
Tony and Sarah Z, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hello, hello, hello. So we
Great subject, isn't it?
Yes. So we have a very good subject that we're going to talk to you guys about. And we'd love to get kind of your comments and kind of what you're thinking about all this. And so as you guys are jumping on, we'd love to hear where you're kind of sitting, where you are. So, shoot us some comments on where you're calling in from, all that cool stuff. We know we've got friends all over the place, so it's kind of cool to see where you're coming in. And you want to start talking
Well, Sarah calls it mother henning.
Yeah.
Your team, your people, the people you're partnering with.
Yeah. So we have a joke. We kind of call it like, don't be a mother henner.
Don't be a mother henner.
Yeah.
And just my talk is, stop suffocating your people. Let them breathe. Let them grow. Let them be more, do more. Let them evolve.
Right. Right. So we're going to talk about this topic because I think this is an important one. It really is. And I am definitely guilty of that. For any of the women that are watching, we have this kind of instinct that we call nurturing and taking care of people and all that good stuff. But that also can kind of go, like, it can be from like one side of the pendulum to like all the way on the other, right? Yeah. And so for those of you that are parents, if you've ever heard the term helicopter parent, right? Which Tony and I are working hard on not being. We do find ourselves doing that sometimes, so we kind of have to remind each other, and we joke around like, don't be that person. That can happen in our business very quickly. Like, we can fall right into that, right? And a lot of times, Tony, we've seen inside of our team, or even like us, over the number of years, get frustrated. And we really have to take a step back, and maybe our team isn't growing how it's supposed to be, or we are getting bombarded by our team with every question, every gossip, every complaint, you name it, right? And so I think it's very important for all of us to really understand that, it's not our job for our team to be successful, right? Our job is to make sure that we set them up with tools so they can go out and they can build a business, be independent, and create success, right? So because of that, a lot of times, for myself, I know early on, I thought it was great being the go-to girl where people would connect with me all the time and they'd have 50,000 questions for me. And I thought it was great that I could regurgitate and answer all of them, when the reality was that wasn't. That made them totally dependent on me. They didn't know how to build their own business. They were the ones that, Tony and I sometimes would catch ourselves and we're like, why does that person, every time we talk to them, they complain to us on the phone? And the answer is because we let it happen.
We allowed it.
We allowed it. Why does every time that person called, they gossip to us? Because we let it happen. Why do some of these situations happen? And it's because we have to look back and go, you know what? As leaders of our team and as sponsors, we blew it because we allowed that to happen. And so we finally said, no more. No more. We're not going to do it. We're not going to babysit our group. We're going to lead them and we're going to hold their hand. But at the end of the day, we have to let them figure this out, right? And for those of you that are parents, this goes so much in being a parent. You got to let your kids go. You got to let them figure it out. I think about the reason that the success that Tony and I have had over the years is because, you know what? We fell down and we skinned our knee and we fell off our bike and it sucked. And sometimes the tires on our bike blew out in this business. Yeah. But guess what? A lot of times there wasn't someone there to pick us up. We had to pick ourselves up. We had to dust ourselves off. And we had to keep on charging with bloody knees and what have you. And I think nowadays, a lot of people are so worried about, well, I don't want all my people to fail. Well, I get that. But also at the same time, they have to be able to grow and go through the emotional maturity part of this business to be a leader. If you ask any of the leaders in any company in this profession, they all had times they had to pick themselves up and they had to figure it out and they had to be resourceful and they had to find their way. And so if you don't allow your team to do that, you're going to have a team that literally is going to suck the life out of you for the rest of your life. Then you're going to resent this business. It's not going to be fun. And you're just going to be grinding it out and you're going to be miserable. And that's what happened to us. It did. And we were like, we're not going to let that happen anymore. And if they complain that we're not like babysitting them, I'm sorry, like that's not our job. And it's just really important. Plus, it's liberating for you because you're going to feel like you have somewhat of a life and you're not always on the phone and you're not always on the text. You're not always doing that. But also you're going to go and grow leaders that are just going to go out and just do the deal. And we see so much differently where sometimes people just mother hen their people so hard that it's just like that micromanaging, that all that stuff that quite frankly, I mean, it's a very fine line in our business because we're all a volunteer army, right? I mean, we're all volunteer army, right? So it's a very fine line of, being too much, people get in this business because they don't want a boss. Right? They don't want a boss. So if you're, constantly doing that mother hen thing all the time, more than likely it's going to rub off the wrong way. And they're going to be like, oh my God, like I feel like they're always on top of me and always having to like be in control all over that versus for us, we just want to be a great guide and guide people along and mentor and coach and do what we need to do. And more importantly, lead by example.
Yep.
Do
what we're telling them to do, we're doing.
Yeah. And build our business. Right. So,
well, it's important because people are being forged in our business every single day. They're being molded and it's uncomfortable for them. And I know sometimes you look at that and you're like, I gotta do everything for them because they can't go through that growth. They can't go through those circumstances, those experiences, but those experiences are going to help them become the leader they're going to become, help them, handle different situations, help them, be able to lead their team and then their team lead their team. So these are things that you must do. And I love giving assignments to people. I love saying, we guide and like Sarah said, we mentor, but we give them assignments and then they go do those assignments and they report back and we talk about what happened or we talk about how we can help or what they should do better or what experience they had or what experience they were looking for. And we guide them and give them what they need so they can go out and build an incredible business. So I was a big, let's just say this, when people came into my business, 3, 4, 5 people, I'd get in my business and I'd be managing those 3, 4, 5 people. I'd be doing everything for those 3, 4, 5 people and I would suffocate those 3, 4, 5 people. And before I knew it, they quit. I was depressed. They didn't want anything to do with me anymore. And it was me, the control freak in me, trying to think I have to do everything all the time and make sure they get this and make sure they're successful. And I was hurting them, I was hurting myself, and I wasn't getting the outcome that we both wanted. So it's something that we learned real quick and we changed real quick. And once we did that, everything changed in our business.
Well, yeah, because it can go from one side to the other. Like Tony talked about, you can suffocate people out of the business, but then also the people that are in, you create this crazy like thing where they think they can't do anything without you.
Yeah.
Like nothing without you, which is like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's like, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. So, and you all of a sudden create this entitlement mentality. And a lot of times in a team, and that entitlement mentality is brutal because it's like, how are you going to help me? What are you going to do to help me grow? Me. And it's like such a terrible, terrible behavior that, I mean, that culture piece inside of your group, if that's what's happening, it's just toxic, right? It's just toxic. So I think, for us, we step back. We always evaluate our business. We always take inventory of what's happening. And so we step back and we go, okay, great. So number one, we need to admit that we're babysitting. Are we babysitting? We're babysitting. So we need to fix that. But then look at what are the areas that I'm babysitting in and what am I doing or what do I see myself coming back to, right? Because most of the time the things in our business, the behaviors we do are cyclical. So it's a cycle, right? So what's the cycle that I'm doing constantly with inside of my team that I need to change, right? Because I think the first step is admitting it. And the second step is being aware of it. And then obviously the third is that solution piece, right? That problem solving piece. And then the third would be just the problem solving and going, hey, listen, again, being very careful with your time, being very careful with the people that you're connected with. Either A, don't be suffocating them, or B, don't be on the other end of getting the complaints, getting the gossiping, getting the whatever. Again, it's what you allow. We don't allow that inside of our team, or really inside of our calls, right? You can't control all of it, but we can control the conversations we have every day. And so we're like, we're not going to allow that into our business, into our head anymore, because it's not a healthy thing. So, but the good thing is that it's fixable, right? It's a fixable thing, but you need to be aware of it and know that, I don't think it's something that always goes away. I wish I could say that it is, but we find every once in a while that we can slip back into it.
Yep.
Right? We can slip back into it. And so we want to make sure that we don't do that.
Correct.
So we're just really, really conscious of that piece all the time, because we know that it's not doing any service. It's not raising the people up in our team to become amazing leaders. I mean, it's just not.
And it'll be uncomfortable in the beginning. You'll think like, oh my gosh, I got to do more. I got to be more involved. I got to take them down this road and these processes and do this for them and do that for them. And no, you don't. You got to go find new people and let them go out and do it on their own for a minute, and find some new people and get them up and running, and then let them go out and do it on their own for a minute. Go back to those people, see how they're doing, and balance yourself and, really use your time effectively. So we love you guys. I know this tip will change your business, and will put thousands
Please share if there's anyone that you know that could use
pocket.
this, that you see valuable. And I just think this is a big thing for us that helped us grow our business to where it is today. So
So have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah,
Take care, everyone.
See you soon. All right, take care.